Hi, I'm Gamer4Fun. In this video I'm gonna show you how I use this Corsair MP600 drive on my PlayStation 5. According to Sony, this will be incompatible with the console, but after my test this actually works quite well. Let's take a look. So here we have the PlayStation 5 console on its side. You probably have seen a lot of openings on YouTube already, so I'm gonna make this quick. So to put another M.2 drive into this console, we need to first remove the base plate, and to do that I'm using my iFixit kit, which did not sponsor this video, and I'm gonna use a regular flathead bit. So I'm just gonna lift up the console a little bit to get this screw completely out. And now that that's out of the way, we can open this package. This is the Corsair 4 Series MP600 NVMe drive on 1 TB. And as you can see on this box, the read speed is up to 4,950 megabytes per second. And the write speed is up to 4,250 megabytes per second, which is below the recommended speed settings from Sony, but you will see that this is still compatible with the PlayStation 5. And now we can see the fan as well as the disk drive, and the bay that has the expansion slot for the M.2 SSD. So I'm gonna use a regular Phillips head screwdriver bit to open this protective cover. So let's take the SSD out of the package. And here we have it, the Corsair MP600 Gen 4 PCIe M.2 SSD on 1 TB. So let's see what SSD size we need to use with these standoffs. So here we can see the different standoffs for different size M.2 SSDs. So we can see that we need to use the second to the last SSD standoff size. And then adding the SSD at an angle until it clicks. And then we can screw it down. So now that's done, we can put back the cover to the SSD bay compartment. But unfortunately, it's too tall for the cover. So I really need to get a new heatsink before using this in my PlayStation 5. Welcome back, now we have gotten a new heatsink for the PlayStation 5 SSD. So I've taken out the previous SSD and replaced the heatsink that came on the Corsair MP600 SSD with a new one that is much smaller. When I was trying to attach the backplate on this new heatsink, I realized that the screw hole on the back of the SSD did not align very well with the new backplate. So I did a little bit of fixing here and took away the backplate from the SSD and just strapped it in on the bottom with some thermal pads. And with this new heatsink it fits perfectly into the PlayStation 5, and I just need to tighten the SSD with a screw. And now that the SSD is fastly secured, we're finally done upgrading our SSD on the PlayStation 5. So now that we have this fixed, we can put back the side panel, and then click back this into place. And that's that on adding more SSD storage to the PlayStation 5. And as for a little bonus in this video, I will be adding a small mod to the PlayStation logo on the left side, and instead of having the logo be black, I will put on a sticker inside the case to make the logo look like the classical colorful PlayStation logo. Now that we have the old logo style on the PlayStation, we can put it back together and then test out the SSD. So here we are at the PlayStation console. As you can see, when we start up the PlayStation, it detects that we have an M.2 SSD inside it, and we need to format it. Before you're doing this, just make sure you updated the PlayStation 5 to the latest firmware, so it is compatible with using M.2 SSDs. So now we're gonna format this drive, and unfortunately we can't do save files, screenshots or video clips on the M.2 SSD. We can only do that on the internal drive, which hopefully Sony will change later in a software update. So this is the real time on how fast this formats. And as we can see when we see the reading speed, it's actually on 5636 megabytes per second, and not the 4900 that it says on the box. So apparently the PlayStation 5 rates this SSD better than the manufacturer of the SSD. Now that it's formatted, I'm gonna try and move some of the internal games to the new SSD. So now that we're on the PlayStation 5 itself, let's try to move some games from the internal SSD of the PlayStation 5 to the new M.2 SSD that we just added. So here we can see the M.2 SSD storage, and this is also the external one on USB. So here we can see 1.01 terabyte of storage on the M.2 SSD. So it takes a little bit time to load this internal storage. But let's see, which game should we move? Let's move Wreckfest, Destruction All-Stars, Fortnite, and Godfall. So that's 115 gigabyte that we need to move. So let's see how long this takes. So this is sped up by 8 times in the editing, and it took about 2 minutes in real time. So now let's move Watch Dogs Legion, which is 57 gigabytes. So this is sped up by 4 times, and it took about 1 minute in real time. And then also let's move Spider-Man Miles Morales, and that's 39 gigabytes. So this is the real-time speed on how long it takes to move Spider-Man Miles Morales from the internal PS5 SSD to the new M.2 SSD. So not very long there. So now let's take a look at a couple of games running on both the internal PS5 SSD and the new M.2 SSD. How fast they're loading, and if I have any issues playing these games. Let us start with one of the best PlayStation 5 games, Spider-Man Miles Morales. I recorded the gameplay from this game 2 times. The first time I got the intro animation with the PlayStation Studios and the Marvel logos, before getting to the main menu. But the clip I used in this video, I didn't get that at all, just booted straight into the main menu. So I have a timer underneath each of these videos. The left is the internal PlayStation 5 drive, and on the right is the MP600 drive from Corsair. Pay attention to the time code underneath each video, so the one video might be faster than the other one just clicking through the menu. And as you can see underneath here, you can see the time that both the internal PlayStation 5 loaded and the MP600 loaded to the main menu and into the game itself. And you can see I have no issues running this game. This next game I'm gonna show is probably the best display on how powerful the PlayStation 5 is. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Before loading into this game as well, I had the PlayStation Studios logo animation, and I did not get it while recording this video. It just went to black and booted straight into the main menu. You can also see here that I had some issues clicking the right buttons at the same time, but pay attention to the time code underneath the gameplay. You can also see me trying to die in this game and then reload, which is also quite fast. This game is probably one of my favorite games of all time, and is a PlayStation 4 remaster of The Last of Us. On the PlayStation 4, this game uses a lot of time to load from the main menu and into the main game. But because of the more powerful hardware in the PlayStation 5 and the SSD, this game loads quite fast now, both on the internal PlayStation 5 hard drive and on the new m.2 SSD. This next game is probably the worst to show off PlayStation 5 hard drive speeds, because it's so slow to load from the main menu of the PlayStation 5 until you get into the game main menu, and that is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It might be because this game is actually more of a live service game as well as a single player game, so it has to check online for downloading new patches or DLCs or events. But in this video you can see that there is a little bit of difference in timing between the internal PlayStation 5 SSD and the MP600 m.2 SSD, but not by much. It's still slow to load on both drives. So again, pay attention to the timer underneath each video to see actually how fast the different drives is, because again I'm not able to click the same buttons fast enough. So you can see me fast travel from the map in England to the map in Norway and to one of the lookout points in Norway as well. So Assassin's Creed is definitely the worst case scenario of loading on both drives. That was my installation and testing of an, according to Sony, incompatible m.2 SSD drive in the PlayStation 5. And as you can see, the PlayStation 5 rated the drive faster than what Corsair said on the box. You could see me compare the internal drive to this new m.2 drive in my testing, and I can see no issues playing games of this drive. If you have any questions or want me to do a follow-up video where I test more games, then please let me know in the comments down below. I've been Gam3r4Fun. If you're new to this channel, then click the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up on this video. Also follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Twitch. All the links are in the description down below. Thank you for watching this video and take care.